here we are. This is Lois. Hi! And we've just met. This is another episode of Run with Julia. We've just met on the parkrun.
Yeah, we were running together the whole way, weren't we?
The whole way.
But she beat me in the end.
Only
If I knew that I was going to do this video, I would have tried a bit harder.
Yeah, she'd have really gone for it in that sprint finish. Next time. But Lois, we're going to do a formal, proper, on Zoom interview about
Restored Eden Physiotherapy.
So tell us a tiny bit now, and then what we'll do when we talk properly.
Yeah, so I've set up the Restored Eden Physiotherapy at the Keys Swimming and Diving Complex in Southampton City Centre. I've got 4 children that are all in the swimming club and all in the diving club, so it just worked out really easy for me. Yes, I set it up in April and it's going really well and I'm getting lots of clients. So yeah, I'm just encouraging people to come and see me if they want a sports massage, a deep tissue massage, or if they've got any pain in their body and need physiotherapy.
Brilliant. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a plan and then we're going to properly sit opposite each other in Zoom, me in London, you're in Southampton, and then I'll hear your story, hear about your running, hear about 4 children. Wow. Well done. Brilliant. I will look forward to that.
Okay, thank you so much. Lovely to meet you.
And here we are. As you saw from the intro, Lois and I met yesterday at the Parkrun Southampton.
Hi.
There she is, Lois. And now, here we are on Zoom. I'm in London, she's in Southampton. We're going to continue our conversation. And so, Lois, I'm so pleased to have met you. I'm delighted that we're doing this interview and conversation. So, can you tell us, I know you said yesterday a little bit about Eden Restore.
Restored Eden Physiotherapy.
Restored Eden Physiotherapy. So can you tell us, we'll start with that because I want to hear all about your life and your running and all of that. But actually, tell us how you began to set your own business up, because that's quite a thing, isn't it? Particularly you say you have 4 children.
Yeah. So I qualified as a physio in 2004, so that's quite a long time ago. And and then I worked for 2 years doing my junior rotations in Doncaster, and then I went to China for 12 years and I was a missionary in China with orphans. And I used to take children out of the orphanage and put them in a foster home and get them adopted, and it was really good.
Wow.
And then
you did that for 12 years, did you say?
Yeah, and then I came back in 2018.
Yeah.
And then when I came back, I needed to do my return to practice.
Yeah.
Because I'd been doing physio in China, but not officially. And then
what was it that made you go to China? That's just before we move into the physio, because that's so interesting. You were how old when you decided you wanted to do the missionary work?
So when I became a Christian when I was 12. And then when I was 14, a lady came into my school and talked about orphanages in China. Yeah. And I really felt like God told me to go to China and help orphans. It was just like, look, all my friends were in the same class and they can't remember being in the class. And it was just a complete pivotal moment in my life.
Yeah.
And throughout my whole teenage years, then I would tell everyone that I was going to go to China one day. And then when I was 19, I went for 3 weeks, and it was really life-changing, awful actually, because I turned up at this orphanage and all these children were tied to their chairs, and like these tiny little high chairs that were on the floor, and like there's a 12-year-old in the high chair and really skinny, no hair, and then we untied them, and then they went and were like eating poo. I know this is like, but like, eating poo from the gutter. It's a bit dramatic, but the point was that I was really faced with this situation of like,
and you were 19 years old.
Yeah, and then I just thought, is God real or not? And then after 3 weeks, I decided that he was, but I really needed to do what he said, and I really felt like God was telling me to go to China forever. And so I went, but I was just about to go to university, so I went to university, trained as a physio, then worked for 2 years, and then I went to China when I was 24.
Gosh.
Yeah, so that was amazing. And then I had my 4 children while I was in China.
Yeah.
And then I came back in 2018, and that was because of like my eldest daughter needed to go to school, and the schools in China they're really good. But where we were living was in the middle of nowhere, and we didn't feel like homeschooling was the option because she was struggling. She's dyslexic.
Yeah.
So then, we came back, and then I've been working as a physio since, and I was doing really well, working privately. But then people kept telling me that I needed to do my own physio business, and I was like, oh no, I can't do that because I'm...
Who, when you say people, who is telling you? Your clients or your...
my clients were telling me, because they thought they were really enjoying the physio that I was giving them, and then they said, like, just a lot of people were saying, you just need to do your own business. And actually I feel like it was God that was telling me about through these people. And I kept putting it off, but then I thought, no, actually that is what I really need to do. And it was really good because I've been divorced, and then setting up my own business was really perfect, because looking after 4 children is difficult, but then when you've got you're in charge of your own time, then if I needed to take time off to watch a nativity play or go to a parents' evening or whatever, that I can work whatever hours I want, and it's perfect because I can look after my children. And then also my children are in the swimming club and the diving club, so a lot of the time when they're doing their training, then I see clients, and it works out really well. And
you're still being guided, so you feel that all of your life there's been a kind of guidance that's led you into the next thing and the next thing.
I do. I really do.
It's really good. So tell me, how old are your children?
13, 10, 9 and 7.
Wow. And so you will do your business amongst all of their activities in school and all of those things?
I do. So a lot of the time I work when they're at school, but then if I want to work, sometimes I'm not looking after them because they're with their dad, so then those days I can see lots of clients. But then at the same time I can do other things, and just tailor it to my life. So it's working really well, and it's growing, so that's good.
Very good. How long ago did you start your own business then? So you came back from China 2018, you were working private practice. When did you start your own business?
So I wasn't working privately as soon as I came back from China. I was working in the NHS. I did palliative care, urgent response, pediatrics, and care of the elderly, lots of different things. But amongst that, I've been working privately doing MSK work for the last 3 years, and then I started my practice in April.
What's MSK work?
So musculoskeletal physiotherapy. So that's where people, like, they're experiencing pain in their body that's like a mechanical problem, as opposed to having pain because they've got cancer or because they've got like the flu or whatever. But it's like a problem with their bones, tendons, ligaments, muscles, nerves, something musculoskeletal physio can fix.
And is the practice, you said you had to kind of retrain to get back into practice. Is your practice, is there your own blend in there, or is there a standard way, or how does it work?
So I'm registered with the Chartered Society of Physiotherapy, and then if you're a physio, then you need to be HCPC registered, which is healthcare professional. I can't remember what it's called, but you're registered as a physio, and so anybody can just look you up and have a look at your number and check that you are on the physiotherapy register. But then I think that everybody has their own style of doing physio. So some people might tend to treat people with more hands-on. Some people might give more exercises, manual therapy. Like, there's lots of different ways, and the way that physios work is that as long as you can justify the treatment that you're giving with evidence-based practice, so that there's evidence and research to back up the reason why you're doing something, then that's justifiable with the ACPC register. And so we just like document our notes and so
your practice, so it led then out of the NHS. All of your clients were saying you should go and do your own thing. So how did you take the first steps to do that?
So I registered a year ago, in October 2022. I registered my business. So I had a picture. Actually, I think now that I'm talking to you, I feel like I should show you, but I haven't got it right now. I might have actually. While I'm on the phone, I'll have a look. But yeah, I drew this picture of the image that I got, which I felt like was from God, about what I wanted my like the story behind it. Hang on, sorry, I can't talk and think. Here we go. So I don't know if you can see it.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful colours.
I drew this picture of
Restored Eden Physiotherapy.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I can. And there's lovely colours, aren't there?
So the name comes from the last book of the Bible.
Ah.
And do you want me to read it to you?
Yes, read it. Well, you've been guided, so you've been led to all of the things you've done in your life. It's really important. It's the theme of through your life, isn't it? So
yeah, and it is the key thing. Why, like, what the physiotherapy business is built on.
yeah.
So yeah, I'll just read it to you. Then the angel. So this is Revelation 22, which is the chapter 1. This is verse 1 to 12.
Okay.
So no, I think it's verse 1 to 4, but it's the last chapter of the Bible.
Okay.
So it's talking about what heaven will be like. Then the angel showed me the river of the water of life, as clear as crystal, flowing from the throne of God and of the Lamb down the middle of the great street of the city. On each side of the river stood the tree of life, bearing 12 crops of fruit, yielding its fruit from every month. And the leaves of the tree are for healing of the nations. No longer will there be any curse. The throne of God and of the Lamb will be in the city, and his servants will serve him. They will see his face, and his name will be on their foreheads. There will be no more night. They will not need the light of a lamp or the light of the sun, for the Lord God will give them light, and they will reign forever and ever. And I think
very, very beautiful. It's a lovely, lovely piece, isn't it?
That's what I reckoned.
Oh, now Siri's joining in.
Oh, so Siri reckoned it was beautiful too.
Yeah, so the point is that but you know, when people say the Lord's Prayer, like your kingdom come on heaven as on earth, it means that right now we can bring heaven to earth. We don't have to have died to get to heaven. We can bring it to the earth right now. And so that means that like in heaven there'll be no pain, and on earth right now there doesn't need to be pain. That's why Jesus prayed for people when they got healed. So when people come to me and say they've got pain, I just don't
know it can go.
Yeah, I don't accept it. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of pain they say they've got. I'm like, well, you shouldn't be having that kind of pain. Like, you need to get rid of it. And then that's what I do. I try and get rid of it.
And then of course that will flow through you and flow through whatever you do. It flows through your hands or your words or whatever intervention you give. It's flowing, and then no wonder. So people get free of pain.
Yeah. So yeah, that is the thing that's the vision that is behind the business.
Yeah. And what's going on? What would clients say? So it's been a year now that you've been practicing, and you just tell us where you are located, just so people know where they find you, and then tell me what the clients are saying about your work.
Yeah, so I set up the company a year ago, but I didn't actually start renting a building until April 2023. So really it's only been going since April. Yeah, so we're based at the Keys Swimming and Diving Complex, which is in Southampton City Centre. It's just in town, right next to the Odeon Cinema.
Yeah.
So lots of people go there, and yeah, it's perfect because there's a swimming pool, a gym, a really long corridor right outside the room that I work in. So, and there's stairs. So
do things.
Yeah, so like there's like one person that I'm seeing. She's like the star of like what I've been doing since I started working there. So in June, she I actually knew her mum and dad before that, because her dad works at the library, and at the library they've got this business, it's called BIPC, and they help small businesses to grow, and they give free services to small businesses. And I've been working with Chris Amedu, but then this person, her dad also works there, and he had been also helping me with my business. And he happened to mention that his daughter hadn't walked since she was 13, so she's now 20, and she hadn't walked since she was 13. And yeah, and it was because of various different mental difficulties that she was having, but she literally didn't even walk from her bed to the chair next to her, like she was being hoisted. And but then she came to me in June, and then she told me her whole history, which is quite complicated. And it took 2 hours to listen to her. And then but she didn't do any physical physio. She just told me everything. And then the next session, we walked 15 meters one way and 15 meters back. It was amazing. And like, if you're a physio, you would know that.
Oh, if you're anybody, someone who hasn't been able to go from bed to chair, and then 15 meters is a long way. It's down your corridor.
Yeah, like normally if that would happen, you would be lucky just to get them to stand up, and it would take like all the effort of the physio to get them to stand up and sit down, and that would be the end of the session. But she walked all that way with crutches, no, with a Zimmer frame. Yeah, it's incredible. And then so that was in June, and then I was going away in the summer holiday. So this was at the end of June that she came to me. So literally in 4 weeks, we got her it from this care home where she was having 24-hour care. We got her to go home to her parents because I was going away, and I didn't like. I think I was going away in the summer holidays, which was like a week before the end of July. And that was amazing. So yeah, that was really quick. And then since then, yeah, she's just been doing physio every week and having swimming lessons at the Quays with me. And now she's just jumping from like one boulder to another, and I'm trying to get her to climb up a mountain by the end of the Christmas holidays, and it's amazing. Like I'm trying to get her to tell her story. But
that's when she's ready, and I'm sure she'll shout it from the rooftops. It's important, isn't it? Because what a story. And it's only just begun. It's just beautiful. And other clients, have you been having the same kind of experiences, that their pain has been going and they've been mobile and all of
I mean, I'm not like it sounds like I'm just like, oh yeah, they're just like fixing all these people, but I'm not. I'm just actually really do feel like God is like with her, it wasn't me, it was God. Like it was a miracle. Like
that revitalizing power that's flowing through us all. It's being able to access it, isn't it, and let it flow through, and without any of the blocks. And I think it's wonderful. You're accessing it in her.
Often people come with back pain or neck pain, and then I give them some exercises to do at home, and then mobilize their backs and massage their backs, and then they get full range of movement and they are not in pain anymore.
Fabulous, isn't it? It is. You are doing the work. It's the energy's flowing through you. It's really, really lovely to hear. And so in all this, we met because we were running together in that run yesterday. We actually were together virtually most of the way, I think, weren't we?
Yeah.
And so is running something that you do just for fun, or is it, because swimming seems to be, and diving seems to be very much in your life, but tell us about your own sport and your own activities.
So as a child I was in the swimming club, and I did 200 butterfly and 100 butterfly, and I got to the nationals for 200, 150 fly. I came 7th in the nationals, and
well done.
That was in my age group, and then 24th in all of the age groups in the European trials.
Gosh.
So that was when I was 17, and I also used to run for Hampshire, but swimming was my main thing, and then I did running as a consequence of my swimming.
What's running? on the track or running cross country for Hampshire? What was the?
Yeah, so I did cross country running and then also 800 and 1500 on the track. I can't remember what time I did.
Oh, very good. Funnily enough, I ran for Hampshire because I used to live.
Did you?
Yeah, when I was a teenager, I ran cross country and 800 and 1500 for Hampshire. So we've got that in common.
Wow.
Isn't that funny? And but this running came off the swimming. So
well, I mean, I just enjoyed both of them. I think that yeah, I remember as a small child running with my cousin, and then I was miles in front of her and she was wanting me to wait, and I was like, oh, I don't want to wait. I'm enjoying running fast. And
did you have a feeling then of God running through you, or what had you not met the lady in the kind of classroom then, or was your sport also having that kind of sense of it, you were handing it over or it was coming through you?
So I became a Christian when I was 12. I actually feel like I knew God I remember talking to God even when I was 3.
Yeah.
I don't think my journey with God my relationship with God has got deeper as I've got older. So I don't want to pretend that that's true. I actually think that I just used to run because I was competitive.
Okay. Yeah.
I used to just I wanted to win, so I used to run fast. I mean, yeah, I've got a lot of energy, so it was just good to get rid of my energy.
Yeah, you have got a lot of energy. You've got lovely energy, and it was great yesterday the way you approached me, and we planned this. It was lovely, really, really lovely energy. So do you still want to win in sport?
Oh yeah, so yeah, I'm not really. In terms of my own sporting achievements, I'm not that bothered anymore. I'm a bit I don't want to get too muscly, kind of. I don't like doing too much exercise, because if I do lots of exercise, I do exercise every day, but I don't like pushing myself.
Yeah,
that sounds a bit vain, but basically that's the truth. And
doesn't sound vain, it sounds just your preference.
Yeah, but I really enjoy other people achieving their goals. I love treating people that are trying to do elite sports. Yeah. And I treat a National League basketball player, well, quite a few basketball players actually, and I love doing running assessments. In fact, when I'm doing the park run, I often see people and then I'm assessing their running styles, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I can't let this person beat me because their running technique is awful and they're still beating me. So,
you approach them and say you need to come and have some physio, or you need some running assessments?
Yeah, sometimes I don't. I mean, the thing is that I as a rule, physios don't change people's running styles unless they're getting pain. Because if you're doing something and you're not getting pain, then it's probably not that.
How do you assess? What would a running assessment? So if somebody came to you, and I take it they're coming to you because they're in pain. That's always. Yeah. So how do you assess them? Do you just watch them running? What's the process?
Yeah, so with physio, it's all about normal movement. I mean, I know nobody's normal, but there is a normal moving style that people should adopt, which we're comparing to. So for one example is, if you had weak gluteus media, so you've got your glutes, gluteus maximus on the back, but then on the side, gluteus medius is the muscle which stabilizes the hips. So if you've got really weak gluteus medius muscle, then your hip will drop when you put your leg forward, even if you're walking. Yeah. You need the muscles in your bottom to stabilize your pelvis. And also when you're doing there's so many things going through my mind, but when you're running, if your knees are knocking together, and you're looking somebody looks like they're dropping their hip when they're running, then that's a sign that their glutes are weak. Yeah. And therefore they're not, if you were to get them to do a single leg squat, their knee would collapse.
Yes.
Medially on the inwards, because they're not able to stabilize their pelvis when they're doing a single leg squat, and also their quads might be weak. Yeah. So then it's really important when you do running to do strength and conditioning alongside it, so that you're muscles are strong enough to stabilize your pelvis and your knees. So if your knee is collapsing, that every time you run, then you're going to get knee pain, because your femur is not going on your tibia perfectly central. So then, I mean, if it's just like rocking around and it's not very stable, then it's just going to cause knee pain.
And so you will just need to see someone run, and then you can see what's going on, and then you'll give them the treatments and exercises.
Yeah, like sometimes, like I might say you need to increase your cadence, like run, like you need your legs to go around faster. And if they go around faster, then that sometimes controls the strength. Or I might get them to do sprinting, because when they're doing long distance, their muscles are getting tired. Whereas if you get the power in the legs from the sprinting, then when they try the long distance running, they've already got the muscle bulk from the sprinting to manage the long distance. So there's lots of different things that you can do.
And is your range of clients, is it a real range of people? You say you like helping an elite sports person achieve their goals, but what's your kind of range of clients? Are they all obviously there's the young woman who's learned to walk again and jump and is going to climb the mountain, but what else? Who else are your
so I really enjoy seeing elderly clients as well, people that are struggling to maintain their balance, and maybe they can't get up off the floor. So a lot of elderly people, if they've got a real fear of falling over, because they think that if they fall over, they could end up being on the floor for 20 hours or something until someone finds them, because they can't get up off the floor. So with those kinds of clients, then I would be improving their balance and actually actively getting them to go on and off the floor. Like, you know, if they do Pilates, mat work, and they practice, and I teach them how to get off the floor, then they no longer have the fear that they're not going to be able to get off the floor. And then also with clients like that, then they would need to do like weight bearing exercises to increase their bone density, so that they have decreased chances of breaking their bones. And then I really enjoy seeing clients that are of any age, but they just want to get fit, but every time they try to get fit, they have pain. And that's often because that maybe they're deconditioned, and so therefore they've got an increased risk of getting tendonitis, because if someone suddenly like increases their exercise, then their muscles and their tendons can't cope. So a lot of the time, actually, you know, couch to 5K, I have a lot of people coming with pain when they do couch to 5K. I'm actually quite against couch to 5K. The reason is I really think that people need to try and get back to running. But the problem is that when they're thinking that they need to keep running until the beep goes off. But they might be like in loads of pain, but they keep running because they think, oh no, like I'm just going to ignore all of my pain because I have to get fit and I can't stop until the beep goes off. But then actually their tendon has been screaming out like, please stop, because it's getting inflamed, and like your body actually tells you what to do. So my approach to getting back into running, if you've had a time out of running, would just be to go for a walk and then run, walk, and run for as long as you feel like you can run for. And then every day try to increase how much running you're doing, so that this like long walk, like maybe you did like a 5K walk, and then like the percentage that you're running that increases every day, but it's like up to your body rather than up to a machine.
I agree. It's what I advise. If I used to coach in sport, but I don't now, but people sometimes ask me, and I would agree with you entirely, that the body's wisdom is so profound that we that, and then we can do amazing things.
And even if you like you're really good at running, but you're trying to increase your speed, then just running regularly, like if you increase how many times you run per week, your body will automatically get faster as you get stronger. So I mean, I'm sure you are an expert at that anyway. Like,
well, I've got a lot of experience. I'm not really sure if I'm an expert, but I've been running since I was 6, and that's nearly 60 years now.
Wow. You're amazing.
Oh, a long time. So I've had lots and lots of experience and lots of injuries and lots of things that mean I have worked a lot out, and I've coached a lot of people over the years. And early on, it was in sport, and had my own gym back in the 80s. But then it's evolved, and I haven't coached sport since the last 34 years because I've been doing therapy with people, but sometimes people will ask me, of course, and I have clients who still want to run and do things. So yeah, I've got a lot of experience. I've lived.
Wow.
So but Lois, it's so good, and unfortunately we better stop, just because these conversations are only just around half an hour, but there's obviously so much, and I'm sure we can keep in touch, and if there's other things we can have a part 2. But is there, before we stop, anything more that you just like to say? We need to know. Well, we'll put in the descriptions below your website, and all your contact details are there, aren't they? But is there anything else you'd like to say, just as a final thing to the people who might come and see you or are listening, watching even?
I think finally I would just like to say that people don't have to have pain. Like there's normally a solution to why you've got pain in any part of your body. Like, don't accept it. Like, there's a lot of people that just seem to accept. They're just like, oh, okay, well, I've just got a thoracic kyphosis and I'm bending over and I know I can't stand up, but I'm just going to accept it because that's like what I'm like. But I don't think you do need to accept it. I think that there is a solution out there, and just go and find somebody to help you. Like, I'm happy to help you, or anybody else. Like, there normally is somebody that can help you get rid of pain, and you don't have to live with it, because we're supposed to be joyful and happy and full of health and wellness. And so if you want an appointment, then just call the number or look us up and you can book online.
Perfect. Thank you, Lois. That was so good. So I'm so glad to have met you, and thank you so much for being on Run with Julia.